Hi, I'm Robert with the Gateway Gardener magazine, and I'm here today with Steffi Littlefield of Garden Heights Nursery, and she's going to show us how to make some great combo planters for indoors, I guess, indoors?
Indoor decorating, yeah.
Out of some common and also unusual tropical plants, house plants, and also some unique natural elements that add color and interest to the planters.
Yep.
So with that, I will let Steffi have at it.
Cool. Thank you, Robert. Well, welcome to Garden Heights. And we've always loved having this new conservatory we did a few years ago because we can offer a broader range of tropical plants and indoor hobby ideas. And this one came to us this year because we started buying some nice decorative elements that people could do in vases and everything, and then we realized they really enhance a combination planter of tropical plants. This one right here I've been putting together first. This is a little smaller one. I wanted to point out the plants and the necessity of the plants being combined, that they like the same kind of living conditions. So these things like things a little bit drier. We have a neanthobel palm. We have an aglaonema here called Brilliant, and a neon pothos. Now those plants in combination together are absolutely lovely. I should remove a few things just so you can see the plants a little better. But sometimes you're having a party or you're in a decorating situation where you want something just a little bit more than just your average green plants. And no, these plants do not have showy flowers. So we can add that little showiness by adding some of these natural things. Right here I have a stem that has has a combination of palm that has been made into florets. So it's all natural materials. It really looks nice with the greenery, but it also adds a little flowery element. I wanted to add a little color that might go with the decorating or the season when I'm having a party. So I love these little string balls that are kind of brightly colored. They fit nicely in the pot, kind of cover some of the soil. This one I'm actually sitting on a stake in here, and it's just kind of sitting here on the stake, adding a little bit of color. These are plumes off of natural Milo grain, and they had been dyed, which adds some color also to my display. The other thing I thought I might put in here was for a little bit more height. I have a bunch of stems that are really just natural twigs. And I'm going to show you how, if you wanted added height in your decorating scheme, because this is in a corner with a blank wall or something, you can easily gain that while your plants are still growing. This palm will eventually get a lot taller, but right now it's not. So maybe something like this can be added in to your display, give you some height, some color, and an interest in here. Now, a couple other things I want to point out. All these plants have been planted in a really nice, fine potting mix, which makes it easy for me to add these things, and also is a good environment for them to grow in your home. Provides adequate drainage and good air. And you might add another couple of little elements like this in here. This guy might come over on, I saw a spot here, on this side. And so other things that can be added, you can show this one. See how pretty that turns out, and the height is good, and it's a nice modern pot. And here we did a combination of plants that like things a little wetter. So this is a big planter. It's going to hold moisture inside longer. And my peace lily here, which I think is called Mauna Loa, likes it wet. I have this darling little, what did she just, well, it's an arrowhead plant, and she just gave me the name on it. This is a frosty fern. This is black cardinal philodendron, and then kind of an old-fashioned little guy come back to join the party is a variegated airplane plant. Now all of these will like it a little wetter, and they'll like low light, so it's perfect for a lobby or a living room or a big foyer. And I also want to point out, you'll notice how this adds some nice trailing to the pot. But if you did, once they get too long, these little plants can then be picked up, put back in here, or grown in other pots. So it's about the tropical plants, but it's also about enhancing your decorating scheme. So here I've added some cut birch logs. I have some dark, very shiny looking reeds. It's actually from a grass. These are all tropical natural materials that'll hold up, stuck in here. So I have those pushed into the potting soil once again. Now if I wanted to add a little flowery element, again I have, these are made with a seed head and palm leaves. And it kind of reminds me of a little dogwood or something. And I thought that would be a really pretty element to add in here. Even though we have our peace lily white flowers, this would just make it a little showier. I also have, these are like a type of vine or grapevine balls. These are kind of fun, clustered in here. Again, a natural material. And I'd like to add a couple of those to add another little element in the pot. Because, you know, if you were to be out in a garden and you see, you have these things, you have trees with bark, and you have vines with interesting texture and everything. But when you're in a pot in a house and you don't have that kind of natural, your tropical plants, your house plants are leafy and so forth, but they don't have these things to contrast. So now you can actually appreciate the shininess of the plant. Now, when I was potting this, I want to point out a couple of things. We definitely always want to make sure that our pots have some drainage, and if you're using these pots inside, of course, you need some sort of a tray or something underneath them so that you're collecting the water and that the water drains appropriately for the plant. They also have gravel in here to increase that drainage, to make sure our plants have lots of oxygen to the roots. So don't pick a container that doesn't have a drain hole. The other thing that we've done here is, because these are heavier, I had preset a couple of these when I'm doing the potting and then potted the plants around them. So that's, you know, something that can be done while you're doing it. And we think this is really fun. There's a lot of plants that can be used this way. When you're trying to do the design, I also want to point out that you want a contrast of foliage. This is a big, wide, shiny leaf, the peace lily. So is I get a little color here out of my philodendron that's this nice red cardinal color, kind of a nice burgundy. I added the little frilly frosty fern here for a little soft, light texture, and then the strappy, drapey texture from the airplane plant adds to the design, so that we have a good design even without our other elements, and then we're just enhancing the planting. So with that, I encourage you to come by and take a look at these and see what you can try for your own home. Thanks.